Hello, brains. You know the problem with perfectionism... One more time. You know the problem with perfectionism is that... You know the problem with perfectionism is that... The problem with perfectionism is that... You know the problem with perfectionism? No. Today's episode is about perfectionism.
Perfect.
Yeah? One more time. Those of us with ADHD tend to be perfectionists. That doesn't mean we're perfect. We know we're not. But we tend to set unrealistically high standards for ourselves and then feel like we failed if we fall short. That failure stings, but our perfectionism drives us to work harder than anyone else, to exceed everyone's expectations. So in a way, we're kind of proud of it. I'm no exception. Yes, my perfectionism has made me super anxious at times, and sure, I can't really enjoy my own show because I keep seeing all the things I could have done better, but now that the show's starting to be successful, it's easy to think it was worth it. 30,000 subscribers? All that perfectionism must have paid off. Thanks, perfectionism. But here's what I learned this week. A, it's not actually our perfectionism that makes us do well. It's the effort that perfectionism drives us to put in. B, perfectionism isn't the only thing that can drive our effort, although it likes to insist that it is. And C, perfectionism is actually a terrible driver. It turns us around after we hit the first pothole. It makes us go down the same street a bunch of times until we get it right. Sometimes it refuses to get going at all because the conditions aren't ideal. And when it's someone else's turn to drive, it turns into a really annoying backseat driver. It makes the whole trip stressful. And if and when it finally gets us to where we want to go, we wasted so much time getting there that we never made it to all the other places we also needed to go. So basically, perfectionism isn't really doing us any favors. To be clear, I recommend putting in the effort it takes to be great. I recommend setting and reaching goals. I even recommend having high standards for yourself and your work. I don't recommend letting perfectionism drive. Chances are your perfectionism is super unhappy I just said that. My perfectionism is kicking and screaming right now because it's afraid. It's afraid if it doesn't get to drive anymore, I won't be safe. Because however perfectionism might get in our way, it is really good at avoiding one thing on the road of life: rejection. If we never make mistakes, no one, including us, can ever say we're doing it wrong. If we never put ourselves out there, no one will see our flaws and find out we're not good enough. That's not even actually true, but there's a lot of fear behind perfectionism, and that fear isn't always realistic or easily overcome. That's okay. If you, like me, tend to let perfectionism drive, here are a few things that might help you wrestle the wheel away from it. Give your perfectionism directions. You can do this by changing the marker for success. I didn't even know I was using this technique, but when I started this show, my marker for success was to put out a video once a week, which was not enough time to make it perfect. Oh God, the lighting. But it moved me toward having a show I'm proud of more efficiently than perfecting one episode possibly could have. Figure out what else drives you and let it. For instance, helping you guys is worth the effort of researching, writing, shooting, editing, producing, and promoting this show every week, even if I can't do any of those things as perfectly as I'd like to. Work with a pro to take back the wheel. If perfectionism is something you've been battling your whole life, it might be worth recruiting reinforcements. That can be a coach to help you set and adjust your goals, or a therapist to help you work through your fears. Proceed with caution. Treat perfectionism like any other fear and overcome it a little at a time. Maybe I'm not ready to give up all my late nights obsessing over the show just yet, because the first week I do that, my perfectionism will see one bad comment and shout, "See, I have to drive!" But my goal is to be done by 11 p.m. most nights and get enough sleep to be able to drive to work safely and, I don't know, be awake enough to celebrate. Maybe my perfectionism won't let me miss a week when I'm behind, but when I am, I can admit that I'm struggling and maybe ask for help. And finally, if perfectionism tries to take back the wheel, remind yourself why it's not allowed to drive. Studies show perfectionism can lead to anxiety, depression, eating disorders, and worse. Besides, as researcher Brene Brown discovered, real acceptance doesn't come from being above criticism. It comes from putting yourself out there and realizing, even with your flaws, you are enough. You have something to contribute, and it might take time. But if you wait to be perfect until you even begin, you're gonna deprive the world of a lot. That's it for this week. I've included some amazing links about perfectionism as well as Brené Brown's talk in the description below. If you like this episode, subscribe. And if you loved this episode and want to help me make more, consider donating to my Patreon page, like these brains did. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters for making this show possible. Thanks to them, we're going to be able to start making bonus videos next month. Let me know what drives your effort. Comment below or hit me up on Facebook or Twitter, and I will see you next week. Bye, brains. Question time. Weren't you gonna keep your videos under 5 minutes long? Didn't you say your videos come out on Tuesdays? I'm trying, but I'm not gonna be perfect.